Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. I had asked in the Instagram channel of ours in the morning, what would you like me to talk about today? And what was voted the most up was about insurance and how should we go about taking insurance. I said, wow, I thought I'd already done this one, but seems like it's been missed by a few of you. So since it's been voted up, democracy is democracy, and I'm talking about insurance. There are two types of insurance which you should mainly focus on. We're going to talk about term insurance and we're going to talk about health insurance. We'll talk about salaried people in India, what they should do, and we'll also talk about NRIs and what they should do, and we'll also talk about parents finally and what you should plan to do for them. First, term insurance for people in India. What is important is the sum assured. The sum assured should be at least 15 to 20 times your annual salary. So let's say your current annual salary is 10 lakhs. That means your term insurance plan should have a coverage of 1.5 to 2 crores. That is 15 to 20 times. Next thing which you should worry about is policy tenure. Policy tenure is till you at least should be valid till you retire. Most of us plan to retire by the age of 60 to 65. So your policy should be active till the age of 60 to 65. That is important too. The next thing which you should keep an eye on is claim settlement ratio. A good insurance provider should have at least a claim of 95% or more. That means every claim that is made, at least 95% of them are settled by the company. So that means you're at least assured the time when the policy is enacted that there's a high likelihood that your claim will be honored. The last thing you should keep an eye on is premium affordability. That you're looking at all this, you don't get carried away with the cost of the premium. Make sure it's affordable for you. It is not an investment, term insurance. Term insurance is in case something goes wrong. So please do not think of term insurance as an investment. A lot of companies try and club this with some kind of a product where they tell you this is a term insurance is also in this. So don't do that. We don't want any kind of investment plan. We want a pure term insurance. So when you do ask your insurance provider for a plan, tell them that you're looking for a pure term insurance, that you don't want any other thing attached to it, because all those other things which you attach to it is what makes it very expensive. Most pure term insurance are not very expensive because you're paying the premium and it is only enacted in case something happens. And more than likely, most of us will go through life and get to 60, 65 without it being enacted. So I don't think you should worry about all the other things, all the other investments they're offering. You can do that yourself. And in the stock market, in mutual funds, whatever you're looking at, there's no reason to tie the both of them together and get yourself jammed up when you're paying the premiums. So keep this in mind, because if you fail to pay that premium, your term insurance also lapses and then it becomes a situation you don't want to be in. There are something known as additional riders, which try and consider and put them in. I would say these are some of the important riders. I would say accidental death, one of the important riders I would say you should keep an eye on. That should be there. Another one is critical illness. That means, let's say, certain illnesses are considered critical by the insurance company. Are those covered? So ask them, please say what illnesses and what situations are covered, so you have clarity in that. Third is disability. In case you become disabled and you're not able to earn, is there any coverage from this term insurance which is there? And the last one is also, if you become disabled, do you get a waiver on the premium to be paid? So you're not able to earn anymore thanks to an illness or a disability, critical illness. You get a waiver on the premium to be paid. So these are the things would be useful to know. And if there's some additional cost, then maybe you should definitely consider paying that additional cost to get these riders, because like I said, insurance is for something in case it happens. And this covers pretty much all the in case that can happen. This is as far as term insurance is concerned. Now let's move on to health insurance. Health insurance, I say, everyone should take this, especially if you're younger. It's cheaper for you in the long term, so definitely take it. A lot of you will feel like, my company is already giving me insurance, why should I bother? Trust me, you should, because employment is not a guarantee. Health, falling sick is a guarantee. All of us in our lifetime will fall sick in some stage or another. That is a guarantee. But being employed at that time is not a guarantee. So keeping that in mind, I would strongly say that you should get your own personal health insurance, which you can keep. In case you fall sick and you're luckily employed at the time, you can use the company insurance and not use yours. But in case you're not employed, or it doesn't cover, your company insurance doesn't cover the illness you have this as a backup to take care of yourself. So what is the coverage amount? If you're a single person, then you should at least have a minimum of 5 to 10 lakhs. If you're planning to take a family floater plan, as they say, where you try and save a few by putting your wife and your children and all of you into a single plan, then you should have a minimum of 10 to 25 lakhs coverage in that family floater plan. So this is the way you should look at in terms of coverage. Next important thing is hospital network. Make sure the hospitals which you like accept the insurance plan which you're taking and they are cashless. Cashless means you'll land up in the hospital in the emergency or in a need of critical illness help, and you can just flash your insurance plan or your insurance card and the hospital immediately admits you and they start treatment as soon as possible, not waiting for paperwork because your insurance provider has given you cashless facility. And this hospital also accepts it. So make sure this hospital which you like, it will be preferred if it's close to your house. Don't pick a hospital which is very far away. And even if you are more likely to have an accident in your workplace, maybe a hospital close to your work also makes sense. This is something to take into consideration. A lot of people don't. Yes, I do understand. We all tend to move around in life. So there's no guarantee this hospital. But at least at the time of taking the insurance plan, this is something to consider. I also tell all my friends, as much as you look at a school for your children when you are looking for a place of domicile, also keep in mind where the health services are the closest when you're also looking at a place to stay, which is something probably food for thought. The next thing which is taken to consider in health insurance is a no-claim bonus. Most of us do not make claims if we generally take care of ourselves and we mitigate any chances of falling sick. You do not really claim this health insurance very often. Each year which you don't claim, most insurance companies do provide a bonus that usually increases the amount of coverage they offer you. So see if that is there in the plan which you're taking, and that would make sense if it is there. The next thing which I want to talk about in health insurance that you should look into is something known as pre and post hospitalization. A lot of them do offer this and you should look for it. Some of them offer up to 30 days pre-hospitalization coverage and some offer even 60 days post-hospitalization. So this is something you should ask your insurance provider. Do you offer this? And if you do offer it, what is it? And if you have a plan which does have this, because it is very useful to have this in case you need to hospitalize yourself for a treatment, the insurance starts covering you 30 days before, and post-hospitalization when you're recovering from your surgery, they cover you 60 days post. So this is something you should definitely talk to your insurance provider about. The next thing which you should definitely keep an eye on is daycare and OPD. OPD, why would be asking me why you're talking about outpatient treatment? Because things like dialysis is an outpatient treatment. Chemotherapy is an outpatient treatment. Not all treatments, even critical illness treatments, are requiring hospitalization nowadays. So because medicine is advanced, not everything you need to get yourself hospitalized to do the treatment. So make sure your health insurance covers this specific thing of daycare or OPDs. The next thing on the list is the waiting period. A lot of us, like me, we have gotten older, we have not bothered taking any health insurance, and you fall into this bracket and you've already managed to catch yourself some diseases which you don't want. It could be a heart problem or heart ailment, or it could be something like sugar, diabetes, something you have landed yourself up with. So when you take health insurance now, the company usually will not cover it. So they have something known as a waiting list, a waiting period for this. So usually it will be 2 years. If you have some illnesses, pre-existing conditions, they usually give you a 2-year window after which they'll start covering it if you don't fall sick in that 2-year window. So ask them about this pre-existing diseases and conditions. What are the terms and conditions on that? And please be honest and transparent with your health insurance providers when it comes to this. A lot of you do think that by not telling them and fudging it, later on you can claim that it didn't happen. Most of the times you'll get caught in this and whole policy will be cancelled, and then you'll get into a blacklist where no other health insurance provider will touch you. So please try and avoid doing all this. It's always better to be transparent and open, and trust me, it'll pay you dividends in the future, especially when you're dealing with companies like insurance companies. The last thing which I would ask you to definitely consider would be a topper. That means if you have an existing plan, you pay an additional premium, which is known as your top-up, which will give you more coverage. So let's say you have a basic plan of 10 lakhs, then you take a topper of maybe 50 lakhs or 25 lakhs, so you paid an additional. Or let's say you don't agree with all what I've said and you say my employer already is giving me insurance. Great. You don't want to do this? Fair enough. Then at least consider taking a super topper on your employee plan. So you can reach your offices, talk to your HR and find out if your company insurance company will allow you to take a super top-up and maybe take a top-up plan on that and maybe expand the coverage for your parents and your spouse and your children from your employee health insurance. This is what my final piece of advice would be as far as health insurance is concerned. These are all for resident Indians I'm talking about, people who are salaried who are here in India. Now let us expand the scope a little bit and go a little outside India and talk about NRIs. As far as NRIs are concerned, term insurance, you have something known as global coverage. See if your term insurance has global coverage, meaning if you fall sick or something happens to you outside India, the policy is still alive and active. Because sometimes when they say it happens outside India, it's null and void. So make sure that coverage is there. Second thing to take into currency considerations, like I was talking about in the Tata AI video, there's companies, insurance companies, which offer special plans for NRIs where the premium payment is in dollars and the repayment in terms of policy is also in dollars. So that is also an option which you can consider. And the last and most important, which applies to resident Indians and non-resident Indians, is nominations. Please, in term insurance, make sure you clearly mention who your nominees are in your policy. If you have not mentioned who your nominees are in your policy, then this policy becomes pretty much free meal for the insurance company because they can say you never nominated you, so I don't have to pay you. So please make sure nominations are there, and it saves a person a hell of a lot of paperwork in the situation you're not around anymore. So in case of a death, the person who's left behind, who you want to be taken care of, it enables them to be taken care of if you make sure you've filled out the nominations. So fill out the nominees, and most companies allow more than one or two nominees, so make sure you do mention who are the nominees to be included in your policy. Now, health insurance for NRIs, this is only important if you keep visiting India often, then you can use this in India whenever you visit for your critical illness or your hospitalization in India. Or two, if you plan to come back to India and settle down in India forever, and in your old age, at that time taking a policy will be very difficult. So taking a policy now itself and keeping the premium payments up to date will help you tremendously when you come back to India, when you retire and you settle down. You will have a health insurance policy which is active and definitely will give you ease of mind at that point of time. Now the last thing which I want to talk about is parents. A lot of you are young and you're thinking about your parents. Term insurance is very great if your parents are dependent on you. So if you have parents who are dependent on you and your income, taking a term insurance protects them and helps them, especially if they have loans, their own loans, or you have loans you've taken for them like a housing loan. This will help them and protect them. So do consider it if you have parents. And health insurance for parents, if they already don't have, try and consider taking a health insurance if it's possible now. Do avoid something known as co-payment. Co-payment is something which is not useful to have. If that is a policy, then avoid co-payment. And the last thing is critical illness plans. For elderly, they have special policies, certain companies called critical illness plans. Maybe you can consider taking one of those also for your parents. This pretty much covers all things regarding term insurance and health insurance. I hope you have understood this. I hope it gave you a lot of clarity on what insurance you should take and how you should take. Please remember to do your research. Go online, ask a few people, talk to your friends and family who have policies, find out what they're doing, who their providers are, what has been their interaction with the health insurance company or the term insurance company. Collecting this kind of data is very useful. A lot of us read Amazon reviews before buying something or read product reviews or a website review before doing something, but we fail to do the same thing when it comes to taking a loan or taking insurance. I strongly urge your Gen Z skills in reading reviews and sorting out the bots, and do that before you take anything like a term insurance or a health insurance or any financial related product. Thank you for watching Bearish today. I hope I answered your questions. If I have left anything out which you think I should have said, please put it in the comments down. I'm sure everyone else can read them and benefit from that. Or if you have any further questions or doubts, you can leave them down. Rupesh will flag them to me and I'll try and answer it in a future video. Or I'm there on Instagram in our group. Catch me there and let's have a conversation like we've been having today morning. Thank you again for watching Be Rich. I wish you a wonderful evening. See you tomorrow with another one. Bye.